NCP I found from when I first joined and the whole way through has been open, collegiate, happy to help. I got that feeling when I first started speaking to NCP, and it hasn't changed the whole way through. So I've found it, everybody in there, I don't think any would survive or last if they weren't ethical, honest, supportive, and that's been the whole way through. I looked briefly at a couple of other organisations, but which both exposed to me how other consulting organisations might work, but that didn't suit with me. I'm quite ethical and honest, and in the NCP, everybody in there I've found has been fantastic. And if that's a value that that's important to you, I would say this is the place where you'll feel comfortable with being involved, and all the members have demonstrated that all the way through. Probably in a couple of ways. One would be the tool sets I've developed in conjunction with other NCP members. From experience that I've brought myself, but helping to consolidate, if you like, from talking to other NCP members. So that, in changing from running a business to being a consultant, that helps. So now I've got a broader set of tools I can use when I'm talking to customers. But the other members were able to help and assist. When you become a consultant, it's more about asking more questions as opposed to jumping into a solution. So that's been really helpful, one for me, but also then how do I use that when I'm talking to customers. So that guidance from the NCP is really good. It's helped not only it's helped me adapt, and it's also been a benefit to my customers by using that approach, if you like. One of my business mentoring customers that I've got, he bought the business, younger guy, from a sales perspective. He was well versed in sales. He originally asked me to come down and help him with a particular problem, and that problem was around a bit around the process in his business. When I went down there and first met him, we talked about a lot of things, but one of the things I said to him, by the way, is I know we're here to talk about that, but are you happy for me to speak openly? He said, absolutely, go for it. And what I was able to see around the place was some challenges around, because it's a new business for him, some safety issues. There were some things that he wasn't aware of around forklifts and his obligations. And when I started speaking about these other areas that he hadn't thought of or didn't know of because he thought he had a certain problem, using observations, asking a lot more questions both helped him, but enabled me to take him from a customer who thought he had a problem, become a business mentoring ongoing customer of mine, because he then realised there's lots he didn't know, and it wasn't just about a particular topic. So I now work with him on an ongoing basis on a whole host of things: budgeting, safety, processes, and it's that type of questioning to really ask, why are you in the business, what are you trying to achieve, and by asking questions, you understand what he did or didn't know, and then I was able to help him, educate him, or guide him down a path that certainly he wasn't aware of. The initial challenges, of course, when you're coming from when you're running a business as the CEO or MD, that business has a brand, an awareness, a position in the marketplace. It depends on the size of that business, how big the brand is. To then come and be a consultant, the challenge, of course, is it's your brand. It's brand Greg Scott in my example. So when you're speaking to a customer with a brand behind you, you've got something to sell. You've got some awareness around that brand. When you go in as yourself, it's well, who are you? What do you stand for? So it's quite a challenge to do that. So that was probably the initial challenge I had. And what was really good is, from the NCP point of view, is a lot of the guys had already been through that. And were able to help me position, my values, what it is I have to offer, and then of course how you might, approach a customer with those values and your brand, if you like. So that was really helpful from the NCP point of view. The realisation at the start is, certainly from a consulting perspective, is you don't necessarily need a huge brand name or awareness. It's about getting rapport with the people you might be working with, and through proper questioning, proper techniques, tools, you're able to get a rapport. They get to trust you anyway. The brand is almost irrelevant. So it's what was really good from NCP is how I position myself, how I'd approach a prospective customer, how you build rapport with those people. And the brand really becomes a little bit irrelevant. So it taught me that It's more a connection and a one-on-one and what you can offer that customer, particularly around the business mentoring program, the tools that you develop. You don't have to really worry about the brand. Great organisation, good people. I've got exposed to a lot of different industries through the other members that I wouldn't be involved with. Probably a support network, one to help me get my business up and running, but to also positively influence me and how I interact with my customers. So I've been in NCP for a long time, I've really enjoyed it, and what I experienced early on has been multiplied as my journey's participated. The more meetings, the more things I get involved with, the more of the members I've got to know has been fantastic. So I would encourage you, if you're looking around and you're looking for a support network, NCP is fantastic.